I'd like to call the November meeting of the Rockland Community College Board of Trustees to order. The time is 7:01. Mr. Secretary, will you call the roll?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Martin Workendike.
Here.
Ms. Mary Lou Dillon.
Here.
Ron Valentine. Here. Ms. Susan Bolker Ramos.
Here.
Ms. Liliana Eckert.
Here.
Ms. Mary Ellen Dykstra.
Here.
Mr. Joseph Rand.
Here.
Mr. Mendel Todd.
Here.
Mr. Richard Voigt.
Here.
Ms. Emma Colchamero. Absent. Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. The President of the Faculty Senate, Josephine Coleman, would like to address the board.
Thank you. Thank you to the members of the board and the whole administration here. I was just at a Faculty Senate executive meeting prior to coming here this evening, and I know that you already had discussed this, but it was asked from the faculty just to make a public statement, so here it is. With regard to the calendar, and it's a 3-year calendar, the faculty just wanted to make mention that we would like you to consider voting on a 1-year calendar and not the 3 years outlined here in the Resolution 48. There were significant considerations discussed at the Faculty Senate meeting of November 16, and we would like some time to work collaboratively with administration to address these issues. These issues involve the spring break occurring on the 12th or 13th week in the spring of 2019. Additionally, there are difficulties with the fall semesters over the years, and basically we want a calendar that serves the best interests of our students. And that was the statement that we had wanted to bring to the board. And I know that you are aware of this, and I know that Dr. Deere had mentioned this to us earlier, but they asked me to bring this and to deliver it to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Probably a pretty copy.
Dr. Deere, can you come up here? Thank you for your patience. Dr. Deere?
Since the Faculty Senate did vote on next year's calendar, I think that what we could do is go with 1 year as opposed to 3 years. And then for the next 2 years, what we'll do is we'll meet with the Faculty Senate and discuss some of the revisions that they would like to see. I think it's important in the spirit of shared governance and collegiality that we work together, which we've done very well over the last year. So I would make a recommendation to modify the 3-year calendar and just make it a 1-year calendar.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion. Does the board understand what's suggested here? Is there anyone that has a problem with that?
I think it's good.
Okay, then we will make the changes to the resolution. The resolution will stay in the consent agenda, and it'll be modified as discussed.
And the only comment I would have made, and I agree with Dr. Deere, we can certainly do this, is that we need to agree on a time at which we'll decide on the next year's calendar. That'll be important to Mrs. Stilley in terms of planning and registration, that we need to do that probably by the end of the fall semester 2017. But that you all can work that out with a date, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll go right into the consent agenda. There are going to be 6 items on the consent agenda tonight. We will be voting on number 7 separately, which is the approval to amend the Board of Trustees bylaws. So I will read the items on the agenda. Number one is approval of previous meeting minutes dated 10/27/2016. Number 2 is the approval to amend the line of authority in the absence of the president policy, Resolution 47/2016. Number 3 is approval of the 2017-2020 academic calendar, now revised, Resolution 48, 2016. The approval of the academic dishonesty policy, Resolution 49, 2016. Number 5 is the approval of the online student verification policy, Resolution 50, 2016. And number 6 is the approval of the contract between Rockland Community College and Full Measure Education, Resolution 51, 2016. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Okay.
Okay, any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is the approval of amendment to the Board of Trustees bylaws, Resolution 52, 2016. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Mary Ann? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Please note, Ms. Dillon, trustee here. Okay, thank you. Motion passes. President's report.
Yeah, just very quickly, I was able to report to the board earlier about the significant progress we're making with our various facilities projects, and we're very excited that we'll begin the demolition of the amphitheater very soon, and that we'll be going forward with a recommendation to construct a residence hall to be completed in the fall of 2018. And we hopefully will be announcing our Innovation Center at Pearl River very soon. And those all have awaited a very positive impact on the future enrollment of the college and to stabilize our enrollment at where we need to be. So I appreciate that. And I'm sorry she isn't here. The only thing you have my written president's report which you could read, but our student trustee, Emma, and another student, Kingsley Alexandria, captured first place in the varsity division for they're on the RCC debate team, and at an event hosted at Dominican College. And in addition, Emma won the individual award, and also at a second competition, they won first and second place. So I would certainly congratulate Emma on that achievement. That's my report, unless there are questions.
Any questions, comments? Thank you, Dr. Wood. Academic Affairs, Provost and Executive Vice President, Dr. Susan Beer.
You have my report. I just would also like to thank the board for supporting the Full Measure Education mobile app. I think it's been very evident that the students are all very supportive of it, as well as the faculty, and I think that it's going to really help the campus tremendously. So I'll keep you posted on how we're doing with that. The other thing is that you know about our Life Happens 211 Center, and I did a small presentation on November 17th, and I talked to Joe Falco about where we were with that, and he had stated that he was helping already 25 students. And one student, for example, he said he was thrown out of his housing because it was condemned, and Joe also found out that the student really didn't have a lot to eat, so he hooked him up with 3 or 4 different affordable housing areas, and so the student now has a place to live, and he also hooked him up with several food pantries. So that's an example, that's a perfect example of how the 211 Center is helping our students. I'm very excited about that. I can't wait to get the data, not only at the end of this semester, but also at the end of the year. So that's my report. If there are any questions, thank you.
I just want to remind you, you had mentioned once before about the schools that we're affiliated with in Egypt. Turkey, is it? Yeah.
For the COIL, yes.
Yes,
They have gone and they're back.
And maybe we're getting the demo or
I think that's a great idea. I think we'll bring them for a short board report. I would also like to have Jeremy Rodriguez come in and speak a little bit, about 10 minutes to you about our PTEC program. That's doing really, really well. I met with him the other day, and he's very excited about sharing that. So I think those are the kinds of things that, as we move forward, we should start sharing with the board.
Any of you are interested should visit our PTEC High School in Orangeburg. I think you would be very excited about what's going on. It's really quite amazing.
Your mom.
which is in Orange.
Isn't that Orangetown? I said
Orangetown.
Orangeburg.
Yeah.
I got corrected by Andy Stewart about saying Orangeburg and Orangetown. I will never make that mistake. I didn't just make it, I didn't pay attention. I did.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Beer. Student Services, Vice President Dana Stilley.
Good evening. In keeping up with our upgrades for the digital student experience, we are reviewing all of our DataTel modules, hopefully looking to upgrade WebAdvisor as well as institute the ability to have students waitlist courses as we move forward. We discussed that with faculty Senate exec this afternoon, and they are very excited about that prospect. So in the early part of the spring, you will be hearing more about those kind of modifications that we'll be able to make. Enrollment for the winter and the spring semester began on November 18th. You will begin to receive enrollment numbers in your board report, which is due to the President's office tomorrow. And lastly, and very importantly, I do want to acknowledge the recent passing of Lenny Gersten, who served as a faculty counselor in the Student Development Center for a number of years. We continue to keep his wife and family in our thoughts. And if you have any questions on the written report, I will entertain those now.
Questions? Thank you, Ms. Stilley.
You're welcome.
Finance and Administration, Senior Vice President Dr. Nair Hussain.
Yeah, now I'm excited. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'd like to make mention of three things that we are doing that will help improve. First of all, to provide better and more efficient service to our employees, we are instituting a debit card system for the flex spending plan. So now they don't have to fill out forms and all that to get reimbursed for some expenses that they make for baby childcare and things like that. So in order to do that, we've decided to go with a different bank to make sure the operation stays separate. Secondly, for the first time in many years, we have exercised a clause in our contract with a colleague or DataTel, wherein they actually will come on campus to take an audit of how we are using the system. And so, like I said, for the first time in many years, they are actually here. They'll be here today and tomorrow, and they're meeting with a variety of campus users so we can make better use of our information system. And third thing is that Dr. Wood and I, early this week, we met with the officials from the town of Ramapo to get the process started regarding SECRA review and also permits and how the process will work, because the town of Ramapo will be the one that will issue the permits as far as the building is concerned. That's my report, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hussain. Board Secretary report. Grant?
The minutes were amended in workshop and have not been prepared for the vote, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Foundation report.
A couple of quick things. We had a longer report at the workshop, but just mark your calendars. Friday, March 31st is the annual RCC Foundation Leadership Awards with a number of great honorees. Special thanks to trustees Ileana Eckert, Grant Valentine, who are volunteering to be on the luncheon committee. Also coming up January 27, 28, 29 is the 31st annual auto show that the foundation runs. And they will be taking on April 27th the RCC alumni, which is a subgroup of the foundation. They'll be going to see Hello Dolly with Bette Midler on Broadway. So, and you have in your packets a list of vendors who offer big contributions. If you mention that you're affiliated with the RCC, they make a contribution to the RCC Foundation. So when you can, patronize those organizations.
Thank you, Mr. Ed. NICET report.
Nice.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes. All of you received the summary of the institute and conference that I went to. The big push for NICET this year is to increase lobbying efforts for community colleges in terms of the budget. And I'm sure that someone here on the board will be volunteering to be a part of that lobbying effort. And you just give me your name and I will forward it to the correct person.
Thank you, Ms. Dillon. I do not believe we have a student government report tonight. Any old or new business? Okay. I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Kind of scary, isn't it? It feels like we didn't do something right.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Dr. Rand? Dr. Boyd? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, everyone, for a great meeting.